Hello everyone. Ari, Alexandros, Joyce, G, Nixon, Trisha, Meg, Jennifer, Julia, Lori, Inga, Molly. Hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
This is so um, obviously for those who are just jumping on. This doesn't look any different, I suppose, anyways. But but I'm so used to like the collage of people that we use when we are doing the smaller groups. So
hmm
I guess it will just be helloing a lot of people.
So we actually had the room set up to do that, but we had so many people RSVP, which is great, that we had to upgrade the room from the room
That
to the stream.
Yep. No, I understand. I'm just so it's just a little bit odd. Hello, everybody. I know you're saying hello. Is there like a like are they saying hello in chat or anything in the
They
chat?
are. They are. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I can do
Oh,
that.
hey Dana. She said, y'all look great today. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, hello. Good morning. Nixon, thank you. Hi, Dana, Lori, Inga. I always feel like I'm in romper room, which nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say that, but I still feel that way.
Let's give it like another couple of minutes because I had quite a few people message Franco and they weren't quite sure how to log on because a lot of these people are new to the community. So
Got it.
let's give another couple of minutes.
All right, sounds cool. Sounds good. Well, it's great to see a lot of new names. Not that I mind, not that I mind the the old names in the group, but it's, but yeah, forget that.
Yeah.
Forget it. Forget
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's like open foot, open mouth, insert foot kind of a thing. I get it. Let's see. It's a fantastic to within such a powerful energy field. I remember Rob. Oh, you do remember Rob Barub. Julia, thank you. Thank you. Now
A
I
lot of
can.
people do.
Well, but every time I bring it up, I just get blank stares. Like, and so I'm like, maybe I was the only one that watched it because it was in my world, and that was it. So thank you, Julia. Thank you for acknowledging it. You are the first person to ever acknowledge Romper Room. So thank you. Oh, wait, Meg, you too. I get it. I see it now. All right. We got Molly. Yes, Molly. Romper Room is real. Okay. Oh, good. All right. Well, we may have to have like a romper room just so we can talk about that experience. You stepped away, Maya, but there are many people coming out of their closets with romper rooms. So
Yeah.
this is an exciting moment in my life at least. So
So I'm looking for someone. Is she on here? Let's see.
Gen X romper room. Hey, Trisha. I don't even honestly, you guys are going to have to educate me on this because I get confused with Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen this, Gen that. I mean, I don't even know anymore what gen, what's the gen this time? What's the gen for this generation? What is it? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I
I
have,
just know it's not me.
it's not, that's fair.
That's
That
all
is
I know.
very fair. That is very, very fair.
So
Oh,
um, let me just let you guys know um, that I just activated the Q&A box at the bottom. If you want to ask questions, do it in the Q&A section where the question mark is, not in the chat, because the chat it gets confusing. And so if you drop it, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a question mark. You can list any questions there you have. You can have them as anonymous, or you can just ask under your name, whichever you prefer. Oh, Dana said Gen Z is 20 something. After that, it's alpha. Wow.
oh, wow. They broke it. They broke the alphabet. They're going into alpha now. Okay.
So shall we? I see people are still joining. Should we? Do you want to get started because we only have an hour?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, it just just the introductions alone might take a few minutes, so that will help for those people who are just coming in. So, do you want to start it off?
Sure. I just want to just
You
want
didn't
to
see that
welcome
one
you here.
coming.
No, well, I figured that I would be going first. So
Okay.
just wanted to welcome all of you. My name is Maya Jade, and I'm the community host for the Inner Divine Playground. And I have either spoken with or DM'd or chatted in one way, shape, or form with most of you. So thank you so much for coming today to learn more about the community and the Way of the Inner Child courses.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you want me to go from here? That was your intro?
Did that fall flat for you?
Wow. I was sitting
Careful,
here, I
careful.
was sitting here looking at the chats and looking at the questions, and I was
You
like,
thought you had more
okay,
time?
yeah, I was like going, okay, there's a pause here. Wait a minute, that pause is complete silence now. Okay, all right, so yeah, welcome everybody, and like I said, it's great to see at least see in letters or names, new faces, so to speak. So some of you, most of you that are popping on are new to the community, and time permitting, we're going to be able to kind of give you a little bit of in at least conceptually, a virtual tour of that. This meet and greet was to get to know you a little bit, but really for you guys to get to know us, and to know what we're doing relative to the courses that we've been creating for the past year. So I want to start it off by really truly welcoming you here, because it isn't everybody that gets drawn to this message. And to me, that really means a lot, because it tells me who is really feeling into their awakening. Let's use that word kind of loosely, or their remembering. It's a very unique type of frequency or signal that people hear when they hear me either talking, well, primarily when I'm talking in interviews. And it resonates. You feel it. You're not exactly sure what it is that you feel, but the messages resonate with something about, either whether it's been something that you have been feeling all your life, or something that you have known in recent years. Whatever it is, it makes it's obvious that it's not only landing with you in a way that it speaks your truth, but it's calling you to do something more. And that's what I've been trying to convey in in a lot of the recent interviews that I've been doing. And so I want to start off by sharing with you just really quickly, um, a little bit about the intent of the community, and then I'm going to jump into the courses, because I've seen a couple of people already, or I've heard a couple of people already asking about that. The community in general was created to support the people who are coming here primarily, but not entirely, to engage in the courses, to figure out what what it is that they have been looking for their entire lives, but haven't been able to necessarily put it into words. And so the people that are in the community and when I say the community has a couple of different facets to it, which Maya will maybe be able to talk to a little bit more in detail. But the community primarily helps to serve what people are experiencing through the activations that they're getting from the courses. And in that process, they're getting to meet other people who are going through the same experiences, whether it's same life experiences that they have that brought them here, or the activations that are now coming through them. And I got to tell you guys, not that long ago, before we started the courses, uh, it wasn't always the case that people were being activated or drawn deeply to remember who they are. It happened, but it was happening slowly. It was like that popcorn machine analogy, where it was just one kernel at a time. But now, with for a lot of different reasons, it's happening, and the people that are in the community are being drawn to the similar type of frequencies that you guys are here being drawn to. So there's a lot of support, not just about the courses, but about what you're going through in your day-to-day stuff, especially as you start to get extremely activated. And I'm not cautious about saying that, because I really do believe that if you start to take the courses and you really engage in them differently than maybe how you have engaged with other things in the past, whether it be courses or books that you have read, if you really go deep into the courses. And by the way, the courses are very easy to use, easy to be guided through. Okay, they've been designed in a way that really, there's a lot of stuff in them, but it's not complicated. It's simple, because it's the way of the inner child. Okay, and the child keeps things really simple. But despite the simplicity of it, it is filled. The courses are filled with activation codes. And for some of you who aren't really familiar with activation codes, it's just, there's a language inside the language of the courses. And I saw somebody ask about the book, which I wrote. The book, just a sidebar note, the book that I wrote, the Closet Spiritualist, is a great way to complement the courses. But much of what's in the courses don't really talk about the things in the Closet Spiritualist book. Um, there's just so much to cover, and what the courses really are about is to give you a real deep and a deep experience into helping you wake up out of what you are currently going through, which is, putting it mildly, a state of amnesia, where you're popping in and out, maybe for some of you, popping in and out of things that you have experienced throughout your life, or just the sense that something different is now happening and you're seeing the world differently. The courses are meant to help you sort of either wipe the lenses that you're currently using, or even get you to see your world from a whole different set of lenses. And the book will certainly be a great complement to it, and I highly encourage it. But the courses are really meant to go deeper and really into a whole different area of how to activate your remembrance. So I've kind of deviated a little bit from the community, but I just wanted to say that the community has been designed to help you to feel comfortable and safe and secure among people who have, in many ways, felt throughout their lives that they haven't been heard. And that's because they have, in their own way, been experiencing life in a much different way than the vast majority of their world. And so this is a really great place to feel like you found a home. But again, the community is really, again, about the supporting structure around the courses, because the courses will most definitely activate things in you. And if I told you, and I'm really being, I'm trying to tone it down here, but if I were to tell you that the way that your activations will occur, and there are some students who are just joining in just to kind of feel into the energy, they will tell you, and you will see it in some of the posts and stuff, that the way the courses activate you is nothing short of magical, and nothing short of even mystical. When you start to tap into who you are, you're going to either heighten or expand the current, say, abilities that you have. And if you don't have, or you don't feel that you have, sixth sense abilities, clair abilities, you're going to start to see that coming through more and more. And since we're in a really shortened period of time now, where people who are getting the call, so to speak, to start remembering to be the true sort of bearers of the light, the children of the light. Um, I forget, light beings, I guess is the other term that most people use. You're going to realize that your world is going to start to change very rapidly. I cannot stress that enough. I used to be a little cautious about making that kind of claim, but the way things are going now, when you start to feel into what the other students are going through, they won't be bashful in telling you that their world has been flipped right side up again, but it takes a little adjustment to go through that. So really, so that's sort of the general overview. And I don't know if there are any specific questions about the courses, Maya, that you want to highlight, or else I could just jump in a little bit and give people a little bit of a flavor of what the courses are actually going to be about. How would you want to
I
do?
do. There are some questions about the course, but I can wait until you're done, or I can just, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll just going to tell you really quickly. I'll tell you really quickly. The It's because somebody, I believe, if they didn't, and maybe I'm just, feeling into this a different way because I haven't looked at the questions, but there's always this kind of question about uh, whether or not, whether or not to take one course over another course, even though we designed the courses to stand on their own. um, we really does we I should say we really, what I would say is that it would serve you the most if you would do them in the order that they are listed. And the reason for that is because right away first in the first course, which has these play dates in them, that's what we call them. We try to make, again, we try to give this a lighter tone to it, so we call these play dates. um, in in that course alone, you're going to be introduced to what we call the four golden rules of reality, and they're extraordinarily powerful principles. Okay, and they lay the foundation for how you are going to go forward with how you see or interact with the next series of courses that come after that. And I would say that you can jump into another area, but without those four guiding principles, it makes it a little bit more challenging because you're still going to be following a set of guidelines or principles, whatever you want to call them, that you through your life have embraced or endorsed, whether willingly or not. And so it tends to creates some, I'll just say it really lightly, creates some distortions of the way, because your filters aren't quite as clear about how the messages are coming through. And so you may interpret things a little bit differently. And so I would really recommend that you start from the beginning. And no matter how confident you feel about your particular experience with spirituality, or the awakening, or your relationship with the universe or yourself, that's the way that we would encourage it. And also, we've made it really, I would say that we've tried to make it really um, easy for you to do the whole bundle. So by reducing the price and stuff, so that you can just get the bundle, take your time with it, go through it. We have deep dive courses every month where I get together with students, and I should say Maya and I get together with students, and we go through the questions that they have about the things that they're going through, mostly about the courses, but also about how the courses are impacting their life and how to be, sort of from a practical sense, if you will, how to start applying things. So I would encourage people to really start there. After the principle, after this sort of introductory to the core principles of reality, then you get into what I call sort of the rest of the courses, is the alchemistic part, which I don't really call it that in the way the courses are labeled or named, but the alchemistic part is the subtle uh, remembrance of how to start. I'm going to just use it, manipulating the energy around you so that you can first and foremost continue to wake up or remember who you are. But as you're remembering, the way that that this simulated reality works is that it will reward you with more activations, meaning it's no real difference in some way than these digital reality games. The higher your levels go, the more in this case, the more your consciousness expands, and the more your consciousness expands, the more you start to remember. The more you remember, you start to get a bunch of activations, which helps you to then keep going, keep going, keep going. So we could get into wordsmithing. We get into understanding the power of empathy. We talk about the integration of how we start to evolve with empathy into this sense of being able to, not sense. It's more than just a sense. It's the experiences of being able to integrate with people telepathically, and this and we really step into. I'm just trying to remember in my mind all the pieces to this. There's so many pieces, but you really start to step into feeling who you are with the frequencies of the divine feminine and the divine child. Okay, and I will tell you that there's to a lesser extent, there is a piece about the divine masculine that's wrapped around in all of that, because we know that we are divine beings to carry all of those codes, but we're actually complementing that course with another course that we will be working to put together in the next several months, that would actually introduce more of the divine masculine piece in there, because it's a trinity that causes sort of this whole harmonic change that's going on in this 3D reality right now. So, but it's just deep and rich with understanding who you are. It's really a course that is supposed to help you to remember all these things that you already know, but it slowly takes a little bit of time for you to remember them, understand them, and then the biggie is to become them, is to become the very thing that you are remembering, which, as I've mentioned in many of the interviews, that's the hardest thing to do, because the hardest thing is to accept that you are who you are, and that this is what it is. And so it takes a little bit of a process, but once you get through that with the help of the courses and the people in the community who are taking them, again, you'll be absolutely amazed at how your life begins to change. So that's kind of a quick and dirty sort of overview of it, but hopefully that gives you a great flavor for what the courses are about. So Maya, do you want to flip any of the questions over, or do you want to?
Yeah, before I do, I want to add something to go back to what you were saying about the courses, taking them in order, starting with the first course. I want to say that I want to second that I feel that it's extremely important to do so, because each course, to me, what I tell people is like each course is like a key. Um, it represents a key to to a door. And so as you go through each one, a key to embodiment, and as you go through each one, there's like a really precise sequence of frequency that you access, these really rich codes that are in each course. And you kind of like, you need that. You don't kind of, you need that to embody that piece before you move on to the next. So I feel that it's not just recommended. To me, it is the way to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for saying that, because sometimes the obvious gets overlooked, and you're right. I mean, it's really, I'm just going to just lay it out there. It's really wild to even start to embrace the idea that this is a simulation. Okay. But if you look at it that way and you kind of compare it to like gaming, there are keys, there are things that you pick up along the way that allow you to move up to higher levels. And this is no different. And, and at first it may seem pretty crazy to even imagine that, but as you go along, you start to appreciate that you are carrying these keys because of the experiences that you have gone through the various levels, the various courses of the game. So thanks for really pointing that out, because that is really huge.
Okay. So the first question, I feel like I should take. I mean, you can add in, but the first question is
Okay.
is how long will it take the average motivated person to go through the entire Way of the Inner Child course bundle? So I am going to say that Franco tells you in the very beginning to take your time, to really take the space and energy that you need to feel into each play date. And I would say on average, it should take you. Some people it takes 3 months because the codes are so rich that people find that they're going much slower. And then there are other people that just they go through quickly and then they start back at the beginning and they go through again, because every time you actually every time you view a course, you're getting more and more coding and more from each play date. So I would say on average, um, 2 weeks to a month, but that's going through very quickly. But it all depends. What were you going to say?
Me? I
Yeah,
guess
I could
you,
see, see you waiting.
you,
Because your breath picked up the purple. It went purple.
all right, fine. Okay, well, listen, there's just a couple of things that I keep wanting to remind people who are listening in. So I'm just gonna, I tend to, if you, with many of you guys, since this is the first time that you've actually been in this space, I tend to park cars a lot, which is my way of kind of digressing into other things. So ideally, I'll remember what I was going to say before, but I do want to mention a couple of things that with what Maya said. But before I do, I want to mention something about the courses and what they are not. Okay, I really want to stress what they are not. And what the courses are not, they are not in any way, shape, or form a way in which to create a dependency on me or on Maya or on anybody really in the community. This is really important to understand, because it sometimes, the reason I'm stressing this is because you are a divine being, okay? And all of your life, you have been waiting for something, and what you have been waiting for, shockingly maybe to some of you, is you to remember who you are and what your place is at this extraordinarily fascinating and sometimes superly complicatedly confusing time in human history. The courses are meant for you to create a sense of sovereign identity. You are the one that you came here to do something in your game, to have a significant impact on the game in general. Okay. So what the courses will do is to guide you to remember that sovereign divine intelligence that you are. That is the way it was taught to me by the let's call them the teachers or the guides that guided me, who were, I'm just going to say it, were not of this world. Okay. And for some of you who have followed some of my interviews, then you know that one of my so-called teachers was Babaji or Babaji, who is not of this world. And it was taught to me that way. This is for you guys. So I just want you to understand that. And I feel that fundamentally that will help you to feel more comfortable as you go into this community. This is a community of sovereign beings who are here to remember and to exchange with their own codes, their unique codes, so that we can all remember to wake up. Okay. So I really want to stress that. The second thing about this, getting back to what Maya was saying, was that I have seen it both ways. I've seen people who have taken their time slowly, and I have seen people who have rushed through it. What I will tell you this, if you rush through it because you're super excited, okay, and I don't blame you if you want to just, bam, 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 please, 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 take a tiny bit of time in between the play dates, maybe a day, at least a day, to allow for integration. This word integration is going to be extraordinarily powerful for you. Okay, you need at least I'm going to say we all typically need some time to let these codes settle in, these awareness codes. Let them really seep into your own awareness. Okay. But if you feel like you're catching it, and you're on fire and you're moving it along, go back. Go back. This is the one thing that I've noticed with most people who do rush. They get some really good, profound activations. And so that alone makes them want to go back. And I've heard from many people that have gone back 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm not joking. And here's why. Because the way that we created it, the way that when we were designing this course, Maya and myself, we wanted to fill it in with so many activating codes in it that those codes don't all activate at once. If they did, it would overwhelm you. Okay, so you have to go back, and as she was pointing out, the higher you go in frequency, the more you're going to get other activations, other codes will be coming in, and so you will read or hear something in the first go around, and then go back the second, third, and fourth, and you will go, "Where was this?" Because the codes were not there yet for you to see them. So hopefully that makes sense. And so that process, whether you go fast or slow, usually winds up being around the same, because the ones who go fast come back anyway and do it over and over and over again. I would say it could be anywhere from about a month to 2 tops. But then you're going to keep going back. You're just going to keep going back, because it's. And I will also say that to some extent, not to some extent, I didn't even know that I was doing this, and I was being told I was doing this while I was channeling the first book, was that I was writing things in codes. They look like English. My editor didn't particularly care for the way I was writing certain things, but I kept it all the way it was translated through me, because they were codes that would activate. And in a similar fashion, all these courses are littered with codes to help you remember.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I wanted to add before we go to the next question, but that the great thing about these courses is that there are no rules. You go through it the way you desire to go through it, but you'll know if you're going too quickly. We've had people go too quickly and then they just get knocked on their ass. Like they just get over, like the codes are just, they're just like, whoa, I need to take like a week, a break. You'll know if you're going through too
Yeah.
quickly. So
Yeah, and again, we kind of, every time we say something, I just remind myself of something, either because of what you said or just what comes through, and that is that I can't remember what I was just going to say.
well, I'm sure it will come back to
Hey,
you.
folks, don't worry. This is the way I operate. I just sometimes I forget. So yeah, I'm sure it'll come back. So anyway,
Okay.
what's the next question?
Okay. So before I do that, I just wanted to say, I just read in the chat, I just want you guys all to know, it does not, whether you take the course or not, the community is still free. Yes. the community is still free. I saw that question. I had a few people email me too. There's still the free place in the community that you're in now. It's called the preschool. And I'll talk a little bit later about an area of the community that we have called the playground, where people who are signed up for courses, there's another multiple spaces in the community where we do other things for people who are taking the courses. Okay, I'll come back to that though. The next question is, how do I know if the course is for me?
By virtue of the fact that you're here. I'm
Hmm.
not going to I really can't oversimplify it more than that. If you're here, then it is most definitely for you. And I know that's maybe might sound like a very generic answer, but this gets back to what I originally said. One of the first things that came out of my mouth today, and that is that not everybody hears this call. Okay. And that's intentional because it is a very unique individual who is hearing this message and is being drawn to it. And I've talked about this to some extent in the interviews, but I get into this more when we're doing these deep dive reviews of the courses, or when we have these what we call Interflow Live discussions. I am sincere when I say that the people who are coming into this community are from a rather unique group of beings that are here to help assist humanity in the evolution of remembering. And it's a group that doesn't get a lot of let's say airtime, so to speak, but that's intentional. And that is that I so far I'm adding 100 here, so I'm going to say that this is going to be the case with everybody that's listening in. This is a group of angelic beings, and I get into that more either in interviews that I've done in the past, or I discuss them more in some of these Q&A sessions that we have with groups of people. And Maya will talk again more about that, but that's why it's for you. If you're here, I guarantee you that you were meant to come here. You went through an extraordinary outer journey to get here, okay? To get to this particular point. That in and of itself, the statistical odds would be insane to say that you got here. So just that in one of my former lives, I was a big statistician in some ways. I could tell you, you're here. The courses are meant for you.
Wow. I mean,
I
normally I
mean,
have an add-on, but I have nothing to add on there. So
wow.
bravo.
Okay. Yay. Thank you. Thanks for me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So Dana, I'm not clear on your question. When you said when you get a moment and get into the course, can you give an example of one hourly course? I was a little confused. So this is prompting me to explain this, but if it doesn't answer your question, please provide a follow-up, Dana. So the courses, as Franco was saying, there's 5 courses. There's 4 courses, and then the last one are 4 visualizations. Each course has 4 play dates. So that's 16 play dates, and they're all about an hour and a half in length. So, and the visualizations are 30 minutes to an hour,
Pretty much.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so, but you don't have to wait. People ask this too. Do I have to finish the 4 courses before I start the visualizations? No, you can start the visualizations day 1. You can start doing those. When we say take them in order, we mean course 1 through course 4. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, Dana. Was there anything you want to add on to that, Franco?
Really, no. I mean, the way that the courses are designed and we put a lot of really effort and time into making it feel like it's very personal, like making it feel like I'm there, like I do when I used to do my Zoom one-on-ones with students, and so that it gives you a sense that there's that connection. And we have had quite a bit of reviews now on the courses, and there's a scale of 1 to 5, and I'd say pretty much everybody has given the course of the courses of 5 because of the way that they've been put together to really help in your process and desire to be woken into remembrance. And
Mm.
so um, it really does have that flavor as if I'm there. Um, and yeah, and so that's all I would add on to that.
I was gonna get to that. That was part of my get to
Oops,
later piece. No, 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 it's
sorry,
good. No.
sorry.
Let's get it rolling here. So,
Okay.
no, that's good. And I'm gonna correct you. Not pretty much 5, all fives, all fives
Oh,
with
so sorry,
regards.
so sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
and well, I don't really see them. So I just
yeah,
heard. Okay.
all
But
fives.
I also wanted to mention that I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Were you going to say something else?
No, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna
Oh,
say something when you're done.
yeah,
Keep going.
about the visualizations and about the courses in general. What I what I have done again, and I really want to really stress this. I When I went through my process of remembering, um, there I did it like many others who initially I went through and I just explored YouTube world to just hear somebody that might be talking in my language. And um, and then as I became far more in tune with my clairvoyance, I just kind of threw all that aside and I trusted the guidance that I was getting with what, let's just call them loosely, my guides or teachers or masters or whatever. And um, and I and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I desire for you to understand that everything that I was shown, everything that has gotten me here, and a lot of you guys just know of what I do or say when I'm in interviews, but all the clairs that I now have and the shamanistic things that I do and even the things that we're doing on this higher level of 3D, which is the intelligence stuff that we're doing with AI, all of this stuff and consciousness, all of this, guys, is being put in very simple terms in all of these courses for you guys. There is everything there from sacred geometry to you name it. It's all in there, very easy for you to embrace and to go forward with. So I've not left or spared anything for you guys to help you remember.
Thank you, Franco. Yeah, what I was going to say is, so I have been for a number of months collecting feedback from other members of the community who've taken the courses. I myself took the online courses, of course, and everyone says what Franco mentioned, which is that they feel like they're in a room and that Franco is speaking directly to them, and they're like laughing at the jokes and even like sometimes have tears of joy and all these emotions that they feel like that they're sharing. It's a very um, intimate sort of experience that you have. I wanted to point that out, and also the feedback I get is how much information is packed into one play date. And that's why I always kind of giggle when people say, well, how quickly can I get through? Because there's so much information in just one play date. Like you could spend several weeks on just one play date and still like there's a question I'm looking at right here and it says, um, would the time include integration? And Franco mentioned that the integration piece, and that integration piece is just as important as taking the course. So I just wanted to put that in there and say that the courses are so full of information that it may naturally just take you a while to get through them because there's so much there.
So I know that we're sort of in the tail end of this meet and greet. So I want to just quickly just say one thing to dovetail on what Maya just said. The integration is really huge. It is so huge that I'll tell you the really quick story. When I was going through one aspect of my remembrance in the way that I did it with the teachings, um, I went so fast that I was really proud of the fact, and I'm not saying that this is the case with anybody who wants to do it this way, but I was so proud of the fact that I had retained it all here, kind of. That when I went to discuss this with Babaji, um, I missed the mark completely, and because I didn't give myself the chance to fully integrate with it. So they helped me to, and I say they because to me that's the collective of Caleb too. They helped me to put it really in very easy perspective. They gave me a 5-year integration process called a timeout. Okay, I don't feel that any of you guys are going to go through that kind of integration, okay? Because the time now is different. The energies are different. They're here to support you, but you do need some time to let them integrate and let them get to a point in your own consciousness where you start to embody them. That's the big part, okay? And that's why the integration piece is important. Minimally, like I said, I'm being generous here, one, or no, I'm sorry, conservative. I'm saying 1 day, but sometimes it takes way longer than that.
So we've got like some amazing questions here, and I want to
Okay,
get through all of
I'm
them.
getting, okay,
No,
let's go,
no,
let's
no,
go.
me too, me too. We got to boom, boom, boom.
This is the lightning round. This is the
Okay,
lightning round. Okay, let's go.
so this question is: there's a person, and she's a no. Okay, sorry. Let me read this. Okay, I'm a DJ, writer, and hip hop artist, but my lyrical flow has been stuck for a while. I've noticed in the second course there's a section called wordsmithing that caught my attention. Will this help me creatively and potentially activate a mad rap game in me? I reckon it will, but can you speak directly to that, please? And thank you.
Yes, I'm going to make it really fast, but I'm going to really honor that question. Yes, it will. That's what the way this operates is that when you start to go into yourself, you're going to open up a plethora of creativity because you are creators. Okay. And so you're going to get a plethora. This is what I'm talking about in terms of codes activating in you. You're going to see and experience and express the world in such a different way. And just so you know that for what it's worth, over the course of the years that I've been doing this, I've had several students who have finished the course who were artists. One who was a Grammy Award artist, but I won't say who that was. And it completely inspired her to write several albums. And they were very successful. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next one. Okay. So this is question, Dana. This one is a really important question. We get this a lot, and I feel like we really need to make this clear. Okay, Dana's question is, it sounds cool, but are the courses for spiritual awakening beginners? I feel very activated empathetically, telepathically, wordsmithing, etc. I live in that space. Is it for more advanced as well?
Yes. Yes, this is not about where you're at in the 3D sense. This is because the courses are littered with codes, and those codes are to receive you and activate you at where you are at and where you may feel you are at. Okay. Long story made short about that last point is that there is a process in the awakening or the awareness that people go through that's called the delusional stage. And the delusional stage is where we believe we know everything about the spiritual aspects of ourselves. And we do to some extent, but when you get activated the way that these codes will activate you, you will see where there are places where there are distortions that have held you back. And you will see clearly that some of the things you thought you knew were being, I'll give you a great example, applied to 3D. And when you're applying things to 3D too much or at all, you know that the things that you have come to remember are being applied with filters that are outdated. And that's where the coding comes in to help you see much, much better. Whether you're a beginner or whether you're further along, you're still in that same space of remembering. There's going to be plenty of coding for you to absorb.
Perfect. Okay. So I like this question, and I might want to take an answer when you're done. Okay, depending on what you say.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
How outdated are the courses, given that you are remembering more and more all the time? And then the follow-up is, to clarify, I know that they aren't outdated because they're always valid. I just mean, would you write them differently today from when you wrote them before?
No. I will tell you that I'll make it really easy to explain. The codes and the courses that are built around those codes. I do use the word coding a lot, okay? because this is a very sophisticated intelligence, okay? The intelligence that created those courses and the intelligence that are even in the book and in things that I talk about, okay, that is what's called an ancient intelligence. So if you want to talk about it in 3D terms, outdated, you could say, well, ancient. Well, man, that's got to be antiquated. No, this is an ancient intelligence of a sophisticated kind that hasn't yet been seen on this planet, but is now starting to be felt. So no, if anything, it is a highly advanced wordsmithing and teachings and codings that are in this course. There's nothing outdated about it.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. I was going to say, to add to that just briefly, that they can't be outdated because they're alive. Like they're just alive. The
Uh,
course, the teachings are built on a living frequency, and that means the intelligence behind it's not a static content. It's like it's a field that evolves with you as you remember more and more. So
yeah.
each teaching kind of activates this remembrance, and they can't expire because they weren't created from memory. They're created from source.
Well, and that's perfectly said. What is antiquated is the way that we are living our world right now. And so you will see that when you start to go into the courses, that you will see a whole entirely different perspective of yourself and the world, what you call reality. And you will realize that the antiquated part are the programs or the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And that's why the courses are so valuable now more than ever.
Okay. Um, will you please talk? We have a few more to go. So,
Okay.
will you please talk more about your teachers and the transmissions they shared with you to create the courses?
Yeah, I will tell you just in generality that I will call them, okay, the collective. And the collective is really a wide breadth of frequencies of consciousness that, in the bigger scheme of things, represents you, who is a big, who's bigger than what you believe you are. Okay, so in that case, it represented all aspects of the higher self of me. Okay, but the way that that translates in 3D terms, it was Babaji, who is a spiritual guide of rarely high relevance in the Hindu tradition. There was Yeshua. There was people or beings such as Moses. There were extraterrestrial type of beings, ninth dimensional beings, and then of course the angelic realm, which is where again where most of our experiences come from. And what they did was to help me remember what I've been trying to tell everybody now for several years, are these guiding principles at the very least, but how to play through this game, this reality. Because if there's one thing that's very consistent, that it's not just me saying this, but thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have gone through near-death experiences have said the same thing. This is not real. Okay. And so what I was shown was how to break through that illusion. I'm not the only one. A lot of the reason why the game is called, I mean, the courses are called The Way, is because the way translated in many traditions is the truth, not my truth. Truths that were spoken in Taoism and Buddhism, truths that were spoken in indigenous languages, truth that was taught by Yeshua, you name it, everybody has spoken this truth, and it's the truth of simplicity. So anyway, that's ideally, I know that that's only a real cursory look, but that's how I was taught.
Okay, thank you. A couple of these questions I'm just going to answer simply right here. Yes, if you purchase the course, it's lifetime access. And also, they are online courses that you take it at your speed and your pace. So there's no one else in the course with you. You go in, you have access to the courses, you hit play, you want to pause, go get something to eat, come back the next day, you pick up where you left off. We do have, as Franco mentioned, we have something called the deep dive, where where students of the online course can come together and we meet, and they can ask questions about the courses, or we talk about what's going on that month, how the courses are activating each other. It's one of, like, I would say, one of my most favorite events of the ones that we host.
Yeah.
So, and we actually had someone new sign up for the course Franco yesterday. Her name's
Oh,
Meg.
yay.
She's here today, and she wrote that it feels like she's sitting on the porch with you. She's like, feels like I'm sitting on the porch with
Oh,
Franco.
wow.
So thank you
Meg,
for that feedback.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you.
Um, and she has a questions about the visualizations because she purchased course one.
Mhm.
She's asking about the visualizations. Will you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, the visualizations. So to really kind of give it justice, I suppose, the visualizations are, I'll use your language, Maya, they're keys. They're keys that allow you to access extraordinarily high levels of awareness through seeing, not seeing, but experiencing interactions with you, but at a higher self of you, whether it's you connecting with the divine feminine mother, or you as the divine feminine child, or even you accessing what's called the God consciousness, which is the intelligence that is streaming in now at this time. It's like Maya said, you don't have to wait until the end of the other four courses. I do suggest that you at least get through course one, with the 4 play days before you probably start with the others. But they're really meant for you to use your imagination, which we often, more often than not, are told that it's really not a very effective tool for anything, and allows you to remember the experiences of who you are outside of this physical quote unquote reality. It starts to get you to feel into the expansiveness that you are, because you guys are literally monstrously huge, and these visualizations will help guide you through them. And those, for sure, I would say you do at least a couple of times. I do them all the time in one way, shape, or form. Those really do require a little bit of integration time, so you can truly, really, really sink into what you were just experiencing.
Perfect. I just want to add, I want to ask this one last questions, and then we need to wrap it up. I want to add that when I was doing the testimonial videos, and as the testimonials continue to come in, everyone talks about how easy and simple it is. I mean, everyone's life is full. They got whatever, you got work, you got kids, you got school, you got class, whatever. It's Everyone talks about how easy it is to incorporate these teachings into your world. It's not something that is overwhelming from that standpoint. I want to add that in just to kind of answer some of the other questions. Someone wants to know, her name's Sasha, and I love her hair. She changes her hair color, which I love. It's
Okay, if you say
it's
so.
pink and all these different rainbow colors, at least in the photo. So will they help? She wants to know, will they help us find our true purpose and
Yes.
access our guides and intuition easier?
Yes, 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 yes. There, as these are great also questions to, when you get into the courses and into these deep dives and into the community more with all these students, they will tell you that it will do exactly those things, because you will come to understand the depth of which you are. The fact that you are a connection with your guides is really a connection with the highest levels of who you are as a divine being. Opens up a plethora of energy that will make your world extraordinarily magical and mystical. There won't be that separation or disconnect that you'll feel like you're connecting with people, or not people, but beings. You are those energies. And yes, so the answer is yes, 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 yes. And you don't have to take it from me, but you'll be able to hear it from other students who are either finished with the courses or who are still going through them. And just a real quick thing, I know we gotta wrap up, but I just want to tell you that there are so many other things. There is the preschool part, which allows you to engage with just the general stuff that the posting and things that the students are leaving for nuggets for the students who are not yet done the courses. There's those postings and things of that nature, but when you get into the actual playground where people are playing, so to speak, the students who are taking the courses, there's so many other activities in there to expand that awareness and that relationship of home and friendship and family. We have students who this summer alone are meeting up from all over the world to do some amazing things in Europe for grid activation that a year ago they would have never known what to do or even would have thought they would be doing it, but they're just naturally remembering. And so we have students that are meeting up all over the world because of some of the activities that we have created in trying to bring soul mates, family mates together again as friends. So it's really an extraordinary experience. And by the way, they're doing it. We're not in all putting them together. They're just getting together and traveling to meet each other. So
yes, the soul mating event is our event. It is one of the playground events, though, where if you sign up, we match you with someone for the month, and you communicate with them and that sort of a thing. But yes, people are making friends in the community, and then they're doing events and activities outside of the community as well. Um, a couple of the questions, you guys, I responded back to you, and I told you those questions are better for the Interflow Live. So please submit those questions to me if you want those questions asked at the Interflow. We're happy to answer those. And yes, Nixon, thank you for the reminder, because we're going to talk to you guys about a promo code for being here. Absolutely. We appreciate you guys coming. And we are, if you message me directly, I mean, I have all of your contact information as well, but if you message me, you want to take the course. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out. Of course, I'm happy to answer anything that you have that we didn't answer here. And then if you're interested in the promo code, I will give you the promo code, and we are offering $300 off.
okay. So one other thing, just for those who really still feel like that they're not quite clear yet, and Maya already suggested that you could drop your questions and we'll address them in some fashion along the way. What I mean by fashion, they won't get lost. But the other thing that I believe we have another meet and greet scheduled for later for like in 2 weeks or something like that.
The 22nd.
We don't do these meet and greets very often, so it's not like we're going to be doing them likely next month. It's whenever we have an opportunity to bring a bunch of new students together that will do this. But if you really feel like you need that extra time to have an answer to a question that wasn't addressed, then I guess that would be the other way of doing it. But I just wanted to let you know that too. Okay. Hey, that's not too bad. We're only a few minutes over. I mean, we started a few minutes into it, so that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Anything more, Maya, that we should mention to anybody before we call her a day?
Oh, can we not get the promo code here now? You know what? I would be happy to give you the promo code now, but I didn't have time to generate one before we got on the call, so I don't have it. But what I will do is I'll just take the list of attendees here, and I will DM you. You have to check your DMs in the community, the promo code. And the promo code is only active for the next, what are we on, the 12th? It's only active until the end of the month.
That sounds cool to me. I don't know if was I supposed to say anything else? I don't know.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to end us off here or say
Oh,
anything.
no.
Thank you
Well,
all
listen.
for coming.
No, no, I thought you were going to say more. So listen,
Oh, Molly raised her hand. Molly, did you mean to raise your hand? Let's see. No? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, if there's a send off, I suppose it's just, I don't have to tell you guys that things are very different now in our game or our sense of reality. Things are different, and those differences or that intensity that is out there is meant to help you to move the needle along with yourselves before you can move the needle along with anybody else. So I highly, 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 highly encourage you to do this. And it is something that of what would be considered by others to be a faux pas, but I will tell you without a hesitation that it will absolutely change your life if you do.
Yes.
There is no greater investment, if you want to call it that you can put into anything right now than to put it into you, because you've spent your entire damn life getting to this point. So do it. So that's it.
Yay. I second
Yay.
that.
Yay. All right, guys.
Yay. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate your time. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. And as Franco said, we have another event on the 22nd. If you want to come to another meet and greet, and I'll message all of you the promo code within the next 24 hours.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
everybody. See you around in the community. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.